Okay, so get this.
Mm-hmm.
For today's deep dive, we've got something pretty cool, actually.
Okay.
A student's handwritten notes on the endocrine system.
Oh, wow.
It's complete with diagrams and little mnemonics.
Nice.
It's like a cheat sheet to understanding our body's internal communication system. So think of it this way. Instead of like sending emails and texts,
Right.
your body uses hormones to keep everything running smoothly.
It's amazing how these notes capture the complexity of the system, you know?
Right.
Most people don't even realize it's constantly working behind the scenes.
Totally. I mean, I know hormones are important, but
Yeah,
looking at these notes, I'm realizing there's so much more to it than I thought.
for sure.
So let's decode these notes together and unlock the secrets of the endocrine system.
Love it.
First things first. What exactly makes the endocrine system so special? I see the student underlined the word ductless.
Right.
Any idea why that is?
That's a key distinction.
Okay.
So think about the glands you're familiar with.
Okay.
Sweat glands or salivary glands.
Right?
They have ducts, like little tubes that deliver their secretions directly to a specific spot.
Okay.
The endocrine system, though,
You're-
relies on hormones, chemical messengers that travel through your bloodstream to reach cells all over your body.
So instead of a direct courier, it's more like a postal service for the body.
Yes.
But my bloodstream is a pretty busy highway, so
Sure.
how do those hormones know where to go?
That's where the lock and key mechanism comes in.
Okay.
Each hormone has a unique shape that only fits onto certain receptors on target cells.
Okay.
Imagine each hormone as a key that only fits a specific lock on a cell. So even though hormones are circulating throughout your body,
Right?
they only affect cells that have the matching receptor.
So it's like each hormone has its own specific address label.
Exactly.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah.
But what happens when those messages get mixed up? Or if there's like a delivery issue?
That's when you get hormonal imbalances,
Oh, okay.
which can lead to all sorts of health problems.
Right.
And what's fascinating is that the endocrine system is self-regulating using a series of feedback loops. It's like a thermostat constantly adjusting to maintain the perfect temperature.
That makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, so the notes mention something called endocrine gland tumors.
Right.
Those sound kind of scary.
They can be, yeah.
Yeah.
These tumors result from either overactivity
Okay.
or underactivity of the glands,
Yeah.
disrupting that delicate hormonal balance,
Right.
which really emphasizes how important it is for everything to work together harmoniously.
Wow. Okay, so let's zoom in on some of the key players in this system,
Okay.
starting with what the student calls the
Yeah.
pituitary, the master gland.
Right.
Is it really the boss?
It's called the master gland
Okay.
because it controls the activity of many other endocrine glands.
Gotcha.
Think of it as the tiny CEO of your hormonal system,
Right.
located right in the brain,
Mm-hmm.
under the direction of the hypothalamus.
Okay.
And even more interesting,
Yeah.
it's not just one big blob. It actually has two lobes,
Okay.
the anterior and posterior,
Mhm.
each with its own unique responsibilities.
Okay, so two lobes, a master gland, and it's controlled by the hypothalamus. My head is spinning.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So the hypothalamus is calling the shot.
It is, yeah.
What are these releasing and inhibiting factors I see scribbled here?
This is where we see the nervous system
Okay.
and the endocrine system intertwining. The
Mhm.
hypothalamus part of the brain
Yeah.
gets signals from all over your body
Right.
and uses these releasing and inhibiting factors to
Mhm.
direct the pituitary's actions.
Gotcha.
It's like translating nerve signals into hormonal commands.
Like a chain of command.
Exactly.
So let's break down what kind of commands the anterior pituitary is sending out.
Sure.
First up, I see growth hormone, or GH.
Right.
I bet that one's pretty important for, well, growing.
You got it.
Yeah.
Growth hormone is crucial for growth, especially for bones and tissues.
Mm-hmm.
It's fascinating, though, because
Mhm.
while doctors can administer it in cases of deficiency, it's
It's
actually
right.
harmful if given to children with abnormal growth
Right.
or after the ends or long bones have fused.
Oh, wow.
The timing of this hormone is crucial.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Next, we have thyroid stimulating hormone.
Right.
Or TSH.
Yes.
What's this one stimulating?
TSH acts like a wake-up call to the thyroid gland,
Okay.
telling it to produce thyroid hormones, specifically T3 and T4, which we discuss later. But these hormones are all about regulating your metabolism.
Okay, so TSH is the thyroid's personal cheerleader.
Exactly. Let's see.
Adrenocorticotropic hormone, or ACET.
Yes.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is.
ACET targets the adrenal cortex.
Right.
That's the outer layer of the adrenal glands.
Mm-hmm.
And tells it to release steroid hormones,
Yes.
particularly cortisol. Cortisol is often called the stress hormone. It's like your body's built-in alarm system.
It is.
So ACT is hitting the alarm, and cortisol is the siren blaring.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now we have two that sound important. Follicle-stimulating hormone,
Okay.
FSH,
Yeah.
and luteinizing hormone, or LH.
Right.
These must be those gonadotropic hormones the student noted.
Exactly. These hormones are the directors of the ovaries and testes,
Okay.
playing a huge role in reproduction.
Gotcha.
FSH, or follicle-stimulating hormone, gets those reproductive cells ready for action.
Mm-hmm.
In females, it stimulates the growth of ovarian follicles.
Okay.
And in males, it initiates sperm production.
Okay, so FSH is all about getting things prepped.
Yes.
What about LH? Does it have a different role?
LH does have some different tasks,
Okay.
depending on whether you're male or female. In females, LH triggers ovulation.
Okay.
That's the release of an egg from the ovary.
Right.
And helps form the corpus luteum, which then produces estrogen and progesterone.
Gotcha.
In males, it's called ICSH, or interstitial cell-stimulating hormone.
Okay.
And it tells the testes to get busy producing testosterone.
Wow, those are some busy hormones.
They are.
Last one from the anterior pituitary, prolactin, or PRL.
Right.
This one seems to be all about nurturing.
Primarily, yes.
Okay.
Prolactin is best known for its role in stimulating mammary gland development and milk production in females, especially during pregnancy.
Right.
It's interesting, though, because men also have prolactin,
Oh.
but its function is still a bit of a mystery. Even our student wrote, in males, unlikely.
Interesting.
Clearly, there's more to learn.
And with that cliffhanger,
Yeah.
I think we've explored the anterior pituitary pretty thoroughly.
Definitely.
Onto the posterior pituitary.
Let's go.
All right, we tackled the anterior pituitary. What a fascinating little gland.
It is.
Now let's dive into the posterior pituitary.
Okay.
According to these notes, it's home to two key hormones, antidiuretic hormone, ADH,
Right.
and oxytocin, ADH. That name rings a bell. Doesn't it have something to do with water?
It does.
Okay.
ADH plays a crucial role in regulating water balance in your body. It tells your kidneys to conserve water,
Okay.
which in turn helps maintain healthy blood pressure.
So ADH is like your body's personal hydration manager.
Exactly.
That makes me think about,
Yeah.
those times when you wake up after a night out feeling like a dried up sponge.
Right.
Is there a connection there?
There absolutely is.
Okay.
You know how alcohol makes you run to the bathroom more often?
Yeah.
Well, that's because alcohol actually blocks ADH.
Oh, wow.
Leading to increased urination, and you guessed it,
Dehydration? Right.
which contributes to those drugged hangovers.
Wow. So like our everyday choices can directly impact our hormone levels.
They do.
That's a good reminder to stay hydrated, especially if you're enjoying a drink or two.
Definitely.
Now, what about oxytocin?
Okay.
I've always been fascinated by this one.
Yeah.
It seems to be involved in so many aspects of human connection.
It really is.
Yeah.
Oxytocin definitely lives up to its nickname as the love hormone.
Right.
It's involved in social bonding, trust, even romantic attachment. But it's also crucial for other things like childbirth,
Right.
where it triggers uterine contractions and breastfeeding,
Yeah.
where it stimulates milk ejection.
Right.
It really facilitates those early bonding experiences between a mother and child.
That's amazing how one hormone can have such a diverse role.
It is.
It really highlights the interconnectedness of our bodies.
Totally.
Okay, let's move down the body to our next endocrine stop.
Okay.
The thyroid gland.
The thyroid, yes.
I always hear about the thyroid in relation to metabolism, but
Right.
I'm curious to learn more.
So the thyroid, located in your neck, is like the control center for your metabolism, impacting almost every organ in your body.
Wow.
It produces hormones
Okay.
that regulate how fast or slow your metabolism runs.
The note specifically mentioned T3 and T4.
Yes.
Are those the main thyroid hormones?
Yep, T3 stands for triiodothyronine,
Okay.
and T4 is thyroxine.
Okay.
What's interesting about these hormones is that they need iodine to be produced.
Uh-huh.
That's why iodine deficiency can lead to hypothyroidism,
Right.
a condition where the thyroid can't make enough hormones,
Okay.
resulting in fatigue, weight gain, and other issues.
That makes sense. Explains why iodized salt is so important.
Exactly.
Now, the notes also mention calcitonin.
Right.
It seems to be all about calcium.
It is.
Yeah.
Calcitonin is another hormone produced by the thyroid,
Okay.
and its main job is to keep blood calcium levels from getting too high.
Right.
It does this by preventing calcium from being released from your bones.
So calcitonin is like a calcium traffic cop, making sure things stay balanced.
Exactly.
Now, these notes also mention the parathyroid glands.
Right.
They seem to have the opposite effect of calcitonin.
They do.
Okay.
The parathyroid glands are these tiny glands located behind the thyroid. They produce parathyroid hormone, or PTH,
Okay.
which actually increases blood calcium levels.
Got it.
So you've got calcitonin working to lower calcium,
Right.
and PTH working to raise it.
That's incredible. It's like a constant tug of war
It is.
to maintain just the right balance of calcium in your body.
Exactly.
Why is that balance so important?
Calcium is essential for so many bodily functions.
Right.
Nerve function, muscle contractions, healthy bones, just to name a few.
Right.
Without that delicate balance between calcitonin and PTH, things could get out of whack pretty quickly.
It's a good thing our bodies have these checks and balances in place.
For sure.
All right, moving on to the adrenal glands.
Okay.
I always associate these with stress. Is that accurate?
You're right on the money.
Okay.
The adrenal glands are these little powerhouses that sit on top of each kidney. They have two main parts.
Okay.
The cortex, which is the outer layer, and the medulla, which is the inner core.
Okay.
And to help remember what each part does, our student came up with a clever mnemonic: sweets for the cortex,
Okay.
representing the steroid hormones it produces, and salts for the medulla,
Okay.
highlighting its role in electrolyte balance.
Oh, I love a good mnemonic device.
Yeah.
Definitely helps to make things easier to remember.
It does.
So let's start with those sweet hormones produced by the adrenal cortex.
Okay.
What are they all about?
So the adrenal cortex produces three main types of steroid hormones.
Okay.
First, we have the glucocorticoids, with cortisol being the most well-known, like we mentioned before.
Here.
Cortisol is your body's primary stress hormone, helping you deal with challenging situations.
So when you're feeling stressed, your cortisol levels spike. Is that what's happening?
Exactly.
Okay.
Cortisol does a bunch of things to help you cope. It increases blood sugar, dials down the immune system,
Right.
and redistributes energy to where it's needed most.
Gotcha.
It's part of that classic fight-or-flight response.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the other two types of hormones from the adrenal cortex?
Next, we have the mineralocorticoids,
Okay.
like aldosterone. These hormones regulate salt and water balance,
Okay.
which ultimately impact your blood pressures.
Right.
And finally, there are the gonadotropins,
Okay.
which are actually sex hormones produced in small amounts by the adrenal cortex.
Gotcha.
They usually take a backseat to the hormones produced by the ovaries and testes.
Okay.
But if they get overproduced, it can cause problems,
Right.
like virilization in females or feminization in males.
It sounds like having balanced hormones is key for so many aspects of health.
It is.
Now, onto the adrenal medulla. That's where those salt hormones come in, right?
Right.
What do they do?
The adrenal medulla is responsible for producing epinephrine,
Okay.
also known as adrenaline,
Right.
and norepinephrine.
Okay.
These are the classic fight-or-flight hormones kicking in when you're facing a stressful or dangerous situation.
So if you encounter a bear in the woods,
Right.
it's these hormones that make your heart race and your palms sweat.
Exactly. It's a rapid response system designed to help you survive.
Wow.
Although both epinephrine and norepinephrine have similar effects,
Right.
there are some key differences.
Okay.
Epinephrine acts on a wider range of receptors throughout your body,
Yeah.
while norepinephrine primarily focuses on blood vessel.
So epinephrine is like the general alarm and norepinephrine is more targeted.
You got it.
Okay, let's shift gears and talk about the pancreas.
Okay.
I usually associate this organ with digestion. Does it have an endocrine role as well?
The pancreas is a multitasker.
Okay.
It's definitely a key player in digestion,
Right.
but it also has a crucial endocrine function.
Okay.
Tucked away within the pancreas are these clusters of cells called the islets of Langerhans.
Gotcha.
And those cells produce two very important hormones, insulin and glucagon.
Ah, yes. Insulin, that's the hormone that helps to regulate blood sugar, right?
You got it. Okay. Insulin's job is to lower blood sugar by helping cells absorb glucose from your bloodstream. Glucagon, on the other hand, has the opposite effect.
Okay.
It raises blood sugar by stimulating the breakdown of stored glucose in your liver.
So it's like a delicate balancing act?
It is.
With insulin push blood sugar down and glucagon bringing it back up.
Precisely.
Okay.
This interplay between insulin and glucagon is essential for keeping blood sugar levels within a healthy range.
Right.
When this system gets disrupted, as it does in diabetes, it can lead to serious health issues.
This really highlights how interconnected all of these systems are.
It does.
All right, next up on our endocrine tour are the ovaries.
Okay.
I know they produce estrogen and progesterone.
Right.
But can you tell me more about what those hormones do?
The ovaries are the primary source of estrogen and progesterone in females. These hormones play essential roles in the menstrual cycle,
Right.
the development of secondary sex characteristics, and pregnancy.
And of course, we can't forget the testes,
Right.
which produce testosterone in males.
Yes.
What are some of the key roles of testosterone?
Testosterone is crucial for the development of male secondary sex characteristics,
Okay.
sperm production, and muscle growth.
All right, we're getting close to the end of our endocrine journey.
We are.
What other glands are on our list?
We've got two more fascinating glands to cover.
Okay.
The pineal gland and the thymus gland.
The pineal gland, isn't that the one that's connected to sleep?
You're thinking of melatonin,
Right.
which is the hormone produced by the pineal gland.
Right, okay.
But this little gland located deep within the brain does more than just regulate sleep.
I see here that the student noted its role in inhibiting reproductive activities until puberty.
Right.
That's so interesting. So it's like a built-in timer.
It is.
Making sure everything happens in the right order?
Exactly. It's thought to regulate the onset of puberty by suppressing the release of certain hormones. It also plays a role in those circadian rhythms we talked about earlier.
Right.
Those natural sleep-wake cycles that govern our body.
So it's like our internal clock keeping us in sync with the world around us.
It is.
Now, what about the thymus gland?
Okay.
Our notes say it's crucial for immune system development.
The thymus gland is like a boot camp for T lymphocytes.
Okay.
Which are those white blood cells that fight off infections.
Right.
These T cells mature and become specialized within the thymus, learning to distinguish between our own cells and those that don't belong.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I see a note here that the thymus actually shrinks with age.
It does.
Does that mean our immune system gets weaker as we get older?
It's not quite that straightforward.
Okay.
Well, the thymus does decrease in size.
Yeah.
It continues to produce T cells throughout our lives, although at a slower rate.
Gotcha.
And the T cells that were generated during childhood have a remarkably long lifespan and continue to circulate, providing long-lasting immunity.
That's reassuring to know.
It is.
So it's not just about the size of the thymus,
right,
but also the quality and longevity of the T cells it produces.
Exactly. And all of this is just a glimpse into the complex world of the endocrine and immune systems and how they work together.
Wow, this deep dive has been incredible.
It has.
Who knew there was so much going on beneath the surface?
Right.
I'm really starting to appreciate the complexity and elegance of the endocrine system.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It truly is.
And as you've seen, even small imbalances can have a ripple effect throughout the body.
This deep dive has definitely given me a newfound respect for hormones and all that they do.
Sure.
I'm feeling inspired to learn even more about this fascinating system.
That's the spirit. Knowledge is power.
Right.
Especially when it comes to understanding your own body.
And on that note, I think we're ready to move on to the final part of our deep dive.
Sounds good.
Where we'll wrap up our exploration of the endocrine system. Welcome back. We've covered so much in our endocrine exploration.
Yeah.
From the pituitary's role as the master gland to the thyroid's impact on metabolism.
Yeah.
The adrenal gland's response to stress, and the pancreas's delicate dance with blood sugar.
Right.
Now let's wrap things up with those intriguing glands we touched on earlier.
Okay.
The pineal and the thymus.
These glands, while often overlooked, play significant roles in our overall health and well-being.
Right. We were talking about how the pineal gland, with its production of melatonin, acts like a biological clock.
Right.
Influencing the onset of puberty and keeping our bodies in sync with our surroundings. It's fascinating how this tiny gland can have such a big impact.
It is.
What other insights can we glean from these notes about the pineal gland?
Well, researchers believe the pineal gland might be involved in regulating our mood and even our immune function. It seems to be a key player in how our bodies adapt to changes in light and seasons.
Right.
Which could explain why some people experience seasonal affective disorder.
Right.
Or feel more energized during certain times of the year.
That's interesting. It makes you wonder if there are ways to support healthy pineal gland function, like through exposure to natural light or even certain dietary choices.
It's definitely an area ripe for further exploration. There's still so much we don't know about the pineal gland and its full range of influence.
Now, onto the thymus gland.
Okay.
Our immune system's training ground.
Right.
We learned that it's where T lymphocytes, those infection-fighting white blood cells, mature and learn their crucial roles.
Exactly. The thymus is essential for a robust immune response.
Right.
Those T cells learn to distinguish between the body's own cells and foreign invaders.
Okay.
Ensuring that the immune system doesn't mistakenly attack healthy tissue.
That's such a critical function. We were talking about how the thymus shrinks with age.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if there are things we could do to support thymus health.
Right.
As we get older, like lifestyle changes or certain nutrients?
There's growing interest in that area of research.
Okay.
Some studies suggest that certain lifestyle factors, like managing stress and getting enough sleep, could play a role in supporting immune function as we age.
Okay.
And there's also ongoing research into the potential benefits of certain nutrients, like vitamin D for thymus health.
It's amazing how everything seems to be interconnected.
It is.
Our lifestyle choices, our nutrient intake, and the health of these intricate glands that orchestrate so many bodily functions.
It really underscores the importance of taking a holistic approach to our health and well-being.
This deep dive has been such an eye-opener.
It has.
I feel like I have a newfound appreciation for the complexity and elegance of the endocrine system.
Yeah.
It's incredible how these tiny chemical messengers have such a profound impact on our lives.
Right.
From our growth and development to our mood, energy levels, and even our ability to fight off infections.
It's a testament to the incredible design of the human body. The more we learn about it, the more we realize how much we still have to discover.
This journey through the endocrine system is just the beginning. I'm definitely feeling inspired to keep exploring and learning more.
And that's the beauty of it all. There's always more to uncover, more connections to make, and more to appreciate about the remarkable way our bodies work.
And on that note, we wrap up our endocrine adventure.
Thanks for joining.
We hope you've enjoyed this deep dive, and as always, stay curious.